Tell you something, homie. I didn't have no show. I was working with the same organization that works against you. James Prince got a house full of them because the FBI want the Houston Police Department and James Prince too. Why you think Houston police keep turning the other way on all these murders? How do you think James Prince can get a police report to an open murder investigation that includes his son? And none of the stuff is redacted. None of the information on this none of this name just blotted. How can James Prince get access to that?
When it comes to J. Prince Jr. and mob ties, this feud is toxic, bitter, and showing no signs of ever cooling off. Cross Charleston White. And you don't just get hit with a couple of slick insults. No, he'll tear into your reputation, drag your name through the dirt, and highlight every single weakness you thought was hidden. He speaks without a filter, without hesitation, and without even a drop of mercy. So when Mercedes TV invited him for a fresh interview, the atmosphere was already thick with tension before the cameras even started rolling. The host didn't waste time. They went straight for the jugular, asking if Houston is really safe for black celebrities to move around without fear. Charleston didn't pause for even a breath. He instantly brought up the shocking murder of Takeoff, a loss that rattled the hip-hop community worldwide. And in his eyes, J. Prince Jr.'s name is tied to that tragedy, whether people want to admit it or not. Charleston didn't sugarcoat it either. He declared, "Say my mother's name and I'll disrespect you. I'll push you to throw your life away. You're weak to me. You and your whole mob ties crew. Forget about respect." That was his warning. Once you get caught up with them, that's when the real danger begins. And it's not something you can just shrug off like an industry beef. His issues with J. Prince Jr. run deep, like open wounds that never healed. Charleston spelled it out with brutal clarity. Mob ties means no handshake, no reconciliation, and absolutely no peace. Only conflict, tension, and a battlefield waiting to explode. He didn't tiptoe around the subject. He came in loud, raw, and relentless. And he wasn't just speaking J. Prince Jr.'s name, he was practically throwing down a challenge from the very first minute. He wasn't just talking, he was daring J. Prince Jr. to clap back. Charleston came in swinging, tearing down the whole so-called check-in culture like it was nothing but a scam dressed up as security. To him, it's just a slick hustle, a way to keep rappers in line while a handful of men front like they run the entire city. He barked it out with zero hesitation. Nobody has to check in with anyone. And then he doubled down, driving the point home with fire. Houston, he shouted, doesn't belong to mob ties. It belongs to Texas.
With the goddamn police with all this shit I got in here. What's wrong with you? I can go to war with police. What's wrong with you? I don't give about nothing. You James Prince, mob ties, and Houston. Come go to war with ready for war. Mention my mother's name. I disrespect you, make you throw your life away. Chump. You a chump to me. You and your clique. A mob tie. Y'all can.
The way he said it had people glued to their screens, and within minutes, clips were flying across social media. Comment sections turned into all-out war zones, some praising him for finally saying what everyone else only whispers, others furious at how direct he came at mob ties. But Charleston wasn't done. Not even close. He kept aiming shots straight at mob ties, accusing them of pulling invisible strings in Houston, especially after the heartbreaking murder of Takeoff. He stripped the glamour away and called it what it really is, raw intimidation. He warned rappers that too many fold under that pressure, only to end up tangled in traps they can't escape. This wasn't the joking Charleston people sometimes expect. There was no humor, no clowning around, just a razor-sharp tone. And then came the bombshell, the claim that shook everyone to their core. Charleston dropped a claim so cold it froze the whole room. He alleged that J. Prince Jr. walked straight past Takeoff's lifeless body without even stopping. He snapped at the camera, demanding, "How can you pretend to care, but not even pause to help?" That line hit like a brick, leaving fans stunned and questioning what kind of man could do that. According to Charleston, J. Prince Jr. acted like the tragedy never touched him, as if Takeoff's death didn't pierce his world at all. And just when you thought the tension maxed out, Charleston turned up the heat. He accused mob ties of only showing sympathy when it benefits them, flat out declaring, if it isn't one of theirs, they don't even look twice. That shot was brutal, and instantly the internet went into meltdown. Viewers ran back to the footage, scrubbing frame by frame, hunting for proof of J. Prince Jr.'s coldness in that chaotic moment.
Make every body check in. What's the white boy name down here? Post Malone. Make him check in.
Yeah.
Why the got to check in? I just left Houston last week. I ain't check in. Yeah, I went through Houston, went to Beaumont. Nah, I ain't check in. So why the got to check in, Mr. Prince?
The reaction split the culture down the middle. Some swore Charleston was exaggerating just to stir up headlines, while others praised him for pulling the curtain back on something nobody else dared to speak on. But no matter which side you stood on, the reaction was explosive. Comment sections turned into non-stop war zones, with one chilling phrase echoing everywhere. If this is what checking in leads to, I'm done. Suddenly, the entire check-in culture was hanging by a thread. Was it ever really about protection, or was it always a dangerous illusion? Charleston mentioning J. Prince Jr.'s name was like lighting dynamite. Everything blew up instantly. Because when he points fingers, it's not for laughs or clout, it's raw, ruthless, and impossible to ignore. And the wildest part? The whole thing was caught on camera, uncut and unfiltered. And I've got that clip lined up for you. Charleston didn't just throw names around, he cranked the volume all the way up, claiming Houston is a city where mob ties pull strings like puppet masters. He painted a chilling picture, saying that when rappers fly in from out of town, they're instantly sized up, tested, and treated like they just stepped into enemy territory. His warning was sharp and clear. If you don't follow their rules, you become a target. The internet lit up right away. Some fans swore Charleston was exposing a reality everyone else was too scared to admit, while others blasted him for chasing clout and stirring the pot. But then came the statement that really set the culture on fire. Charleston claimed mob ties' grip stretches far beyond the streets and deep into the music industry itself.
Is more of a player town. Houston is way player, homie. They ain't just hunting down celebrities. You can go to Houston with your jewelry on, go to the clubs and have fun. Happened to Takeoff was just a fluke. But you can go to Houston and party and have fun all night, go to different sides of Houston. And you can't do that you can't do that in LA, homie. All that setup dealing with J. Prince Jr. and mob tie because they extort. See, J. Prince Jr. and them try to extort. But they don't come up, homie, when they come up here, they be on their best behavior. When mob ties come up to Dallas, nigga, I was in DG with the homie. When Houston played Dallas, throwing money like they be on their best behavior. They only try to play the mob ties extortion to the weak rappers. But come on, homie, you heard what Sauce Walker told us, man. Yeah, man, y'all, homie, Houston is a player.
He suggested that artists' careers have been slowed down, blocked, or even crushed completely, depending on who they chose to stand with in Houston. That bombshell had fans racing to pull receipts, digging through old beefs, shady deals, and broken alliances, all wondering if Charleston had just cracked open the secret machinery running hip-hop behind the curtains. And he wasn't done stirring it up. Charleston compared mob ties to a shadow record label, quietly controlling the industry from the background. He even suggested that rappers who fell off didn't just fade out, they were cut off deliberately for refusing to bow to J. Prince Jr. and his circle. That one claim spread like wildfire online, with fans pointing to vanished careers and asking if Charleston had just unmasked a long-buried truth in the game. Plenty of people brushed Charleston off, saying he was blowing smoke, but others swore his words finally connected dots that never lined up until now. And Charleston wasn't dealing in vague shadows anymore, he started naming names. He flat out claimed that certain big-name rappers only shine in Houston because they chose to side with mob ties. He painted the image clearly. Artists cheesing for the cameras in public, while behind the scenes moving like they're tied to someone else's strings. Then he dropped a bomb that stopped the internet cold. He suggested that Takeoff's death wasn't just tragic bad luck, but part of a bigger fight over who really controls Houston's rap scene. That comment hit like dynamite, sending shockwaves across social media. Fans went wild, digging through old videos, pausing on side eyes and tense body language, breaking down clips frame by frame.
See the mob ties in the J Prince rant too, bro.
Man, ain't nobody scared of them niggas.
I'm saying like what, but like where does that come from? Where does that come from?
Because somebody asked the question. We not afraid of J Prince up here in Dallas. Homie, he ain't had no influence up here. His sons, none of that. Nigga right there come through and try to do some big dogs up here. Nah, homie, this big down now. Mob ties don't exist up here because when the police kill some, where's mob ties? When we need murder solved in the community and need kill babies, where is mob ties? When the women is getting beat, and where is mob ties, homie? Where is mob ties for the community? Mob ties. Harder we working for these kids up here. Don't bring no mother mob ties up to me.
Suddenly, every handshake, every refusal, every check-in looked suspicious. The debates exploded. Was your career, your tour, even your safety tied to how close you stood with J Prince Jr.? Charleston kept hammering it in. Mob ties isn't about respect in his eyes. It's about fear, leverage, and power moves that can make or break an artist overnight. And just when it seemed like he couldn't push further, he raised the bar even higher. Charleston warned that all this flexing and influence hasn't gone unnoticed. He claimed federal eyes are already locked in, quietly collecting evidence and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Charleston didn't hold back. He warned that when raids, busts, and federal crackdowns finally slam into Houston, nobody should act shocked. In his words, it isn't just the streets watching J Prince Jr. and his circle. He painted the picture like every shady handshake, every viral moment, and every whispered rumor could already be sitting in some federal folder, stamped and waiting. Fans jumped on it instantly, splitting into camps. Some argued Charleston was exaggerating just to shake the room, but others swore he just slipped out the real reason mob ties can't shake off the Fed's shadow. Suddenly, the question wasn't if, but when. Was Charleston stirring smoke, or had he exposed what the mainstream won't dare to touch? And that's where the whole mess sits now. Charleston firing off bold claims, the internet dissecting every second, and mob ties locked at the center of accusations louder than ever. Street chatter is buzzing heavy. Federal eyes feel closer by the day, and fans can't stop rewinding those clips, trying to separate truth from speculation. One thing is crystal clear. This storm is nowhere near finished, and whatever comes next could flip the whole narrative upside down in ways nobody's ready for. Charleston wasn't about to cool off. He claimed he's sitting on even more receipts ready to drop at any moment. He hinted that text messages, private convos, and behind-the-scenes stories could spill soon. And if they do, it might drag names nobody expected straight into the fire. He warned that mob ties power isn't untouchable anymore, because once the feds mix street politics with industry business, the fallout gets deadly serious. Fans online went wild, speculating about who those names could be. Some swore it pointed to rappers who've stayed suspiciously quiet, while others suggested label executives might also be tied in deeper than anyone realized. The debates grew louder, with timelines turning into full-blown detective boards, people piecing together every old headline, clip, and rumor. Charleston fueled it even more by saying, "Y'all think I'm done, but I'm just getting started."
I can go hire me some white boy sheriffs to patrol me, but I'd much rather get the black security company. But if I got to check in because they go be dropping tips on me, now I go get the white boy security. You don't make them police check in. So no, that's what I mean by I don't respect nothing like that. You just making your people check in. That ain't how the mob work. The mob make everybody pay a price. The judge, the police chief, the police that run the beat, everybody got to pay. So that's why I don't respect it, homie. And I hate, it's like Whack 100 done trick.
That one line alone had the internet spinning, convinced bigger revelations are on the way. Suddenly, it wasn't just about Houston. It was about the entire rap game being forced to face truths nobody wanted exposed. Charleston's hints about hidden receipts had the internet buzzing, but then he raised the stakes again, saying straight up that Mob Ties is terrified of exposure. He claimed that's why they move in silence now, staying low while the chatter online gets louder every day. According to him, the real fear isn't the streets, it's what happens if the feds decide to make their move and drag everything into open court. Fans ran wild with theories. Some argued that sealed indictments might already exist, just waiting for the green light to drop, while others believed Charleston was bluffing just to keep his name hot. But either way, the energy was electric. Nobody could look away. Comment sections became war zones, with people asking if Mob Ties could survive a spotlight this harsh. Charleston poured gas on the fire by claiming the entire hip-hop industry is watching Houston closely, because if Mob Ties falls, the domino effect could shake the whole culture. He made it clear, this isn't just street beef anymore. This is a storm that could drag rappers, managers, and even record labels into chaos they can't control. Charleston hinted that if Mob Ties doesn't back off, he'll be the one to unleash the so-called receipts himself. He teased that text chains, phone calls, and even hidden recordings could put powerful names in positions they can't walk away from. His warning sounded less like talk and more like a countdown, like he's daring them to test him. The internet went crazy. Fans split between calling his bluff and begging him to leak everything now. Threads filled with wild guesses about who could be exposed if those files drop. Some pointed at Houston legends, others at industry bosses, who've always stayed behind the curtain. The possibility alone had people glued to their screens. Charleston doubled down, saying, "I've been quiet long enough, but once I let it out, y'all gonna see who's really pulling strings." That declaration sent shockwaves across social media, with many now convinced he's holding something explosive. The tension hit a new peak, because if Charleston really does have proof, the entire Mob Ties empire could be staring at its biggest threat yet. Charleston leaned in even harder, teasing that the evidence he's holding isn't just gossip. It's the kind of material that could flip careers upside down overnight. He claimed there are conversations recorded, names tied to violent situations, and even money trails that link straight back to Mob Ties. The way he said it, you could feel he wasn't bluffing. He was daring them to make a move so he'd have a reason to unload it all. Fans online went into full meltdown.
Now he on camera explaining to this, so now he don't look like the big bad Prince no more. He looked nervous at times. He looked like Wack getting the best of him. He don't look strong no more, 'cause he done let Wack trick him. But I know, and he know, the feds done rattled his cage with Wack, and they ain't never been able to rattle his cage. Wack 100 is with the FBI. That's why Jay Prince seems so nervous. He know that nigga with them people. He know it. That's why he seems so like he's shaking. He know it. I know it and Mr. Prince know it. And the FBI know we know. So, I just hate the great Prince, man. The great Mr. Prince.
Some begged for him to drop the files immediately, while others warned that exposing too much could put him in real danger. Memes, threads, and even reaction videos popped up nonstop, with people dissecting every detail of Charleston's threat. It felt less like internet chatter, and more like everyone bracing for an explosion that could shake the rap game at its core. And here's the chilling part. Charleston ended by saying, "Y'all don't even know the half of it." That one line left fans restless, convinced the story is about to erupt in ways nobody's ready for. The stage is set, the tension's boiling, and the next move, whether from Charleston or Mob Ties, could change everything. Charleston didn't let the smoke clear. He warned that if he's silenced or pressured, the information will still leak. He hinted that backups exist, tucked away with people who are ready to hit upload the moment anything happens to him. That revelation flipped the internet upside down, because suddenly it wasn't just about Charleston talking. It was about a ticking time bomb waiting to go off. Fans started buzzing with paranoia. Was he bluffing, or does he really have a network protecting him? Some compared it to a dead man switch, saying if Charleston gets pushed too far, The files will surface no matter what. Others warned that mob ties might not risk testing him, because if he's telling the truth, the fallout would be catastrophic. Charleston kept that same energy, saying, "It don't stop with me. I made sure of that." That one sentence had timelines spiraling, with people convinced he's already locked Houston's darkest secrets into motion. Suddenly, this wasn't just a feud. It felt like the kind of setup where the next move could set off a chain reaction nobody can control. After days of Charleston setting the internet ablaze, whispers started swirling that mob ties might finally clap back. Word on the streets was that certain voices close to J. Prince Jr. were preparing to address the accusations head-on, but Charleston beat them to the punch by dropping what he called a preview of the truth. He didn't release the full stash, but he let just enough slip to keep everybody glued to the drama. Mentions of private phone calls, blurred screenshots, and cryptic references that left fans guessing who was on the other end. The internet instantly exploded, with people zooming in, screenshotting, and connecting dots like detectives piecing together a crime scene. Comment sections lit up with speculation. Was this Charleston proving he's not bluffing? Or was it just another master play to keep mob ties nervous? Whatever the case, it worked. The tension skyrocketed. Fans argued nonstop, and the biggest question hanging in the air was clear. If this is just the preview, what kind of bombshells are still sitting in the vault? Before you dip out, don't forget to smash that like button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and hit subscribe if you're new, so you never miss when the next piece of this story breaks. Share this with anyone who needs to see the truth about what's really going down behind the scenes. Trust me, this saga is only getting wilder, and we'll catch you in the next one.